I saw, dude. Welcome, my friends, to the Hill Podcast, where we sharpen your tools for the upward journey. Everybody in the self-improvement community is telling you, get up early and get it done. But I feel like the explanation as to why you should do that is usually lacking. So going into the why, I really think the concept of momentum applies to mornings. You have the opportunity to do a lot of small tasks, like making your bed, brushing your teeth, washing your face. You have all these different small things that you can do. And basically, as soon as you start out your day and you start doing these small tasks, what you're confirming to yourself is that you are in control of your day. What are you doing there? You're shifting to what's known as an internal locus of control. Individuals who have an internal locus of control believe that they're in control of their destiny, and that's huge. So if you take advantage of your mornings by doing small tasks that are easy to accomplish, you start building momentum in a positive direction, and you confirm to yourself that yes, I am in control of my day and I'm gonna absolutely crush it. And let's chat a little bit about habit psychology as well. So we build associations in our brains around different cognitive states. So if I wake up every single morning and I commit to the same exact habit and I do it the same exact way every single morning, I am very likely to continue doing that same exact thing because I've built up cognitive associations between waking up at this time, my mental state, and then doing this activity. Habit psychology suggests that the more you reinforce this, the more likely you are to do it, and it kind of reaches this automatic stage where you don't have to think too much about it. You don't have to invest too much cognitive willpower. Instead, it automatically happens. So then the question becomes, why not build a positive habit in the morning that involves challenging your brain to be the most positive version of yourself you can be? Why not build a habit around positivity and building a mentality that essentially tells yourself every single day, I'm going to make the most out of my day. I'm going to challenge myself to look at all the things around me and all the different things I have to do today and face them head on with the best possible attitude. Initially, doing some kind of practice like this might feel a little bit weird, but it's really interesting to see how as we do certain things repeatedly, they start to become part of our personality. Just like habit psychology suggests, the more you do something at the same exact time every single day, the more likely you are to repeat that activity because you've built associations between that time of day, that cognitive state you're in, and then you're going to do that activity. If you want to make the most out of your mornings, you should definitely have a highly regulated, very specific nightly practice. This practice should definitely be aimed at optimizing your brain for sleep. By putting it in a certain state, we can increase alpha wave activity. We can even improve our brain's ability to reach delta wave during sleep. So how is this done? Let's consider what we deal with every single day. So as you go throughout your work, you go throughout your school, you do your daily activities, you encounter different stressors, you encounter different challenges, you encounter different people. Your brain has to process all of that information, and that actually occurs continuously. So having a practice where you sit down before you go to sleep to process all that information that you've just experienced throughout the day is incredibly beneficial because that actually allows you to prevent your amygdala from hyperactivating as you sleep. Your amygdala is the region of the brain that is responsible for basically processing fear and processing a lot of different emotions. If you encountered a stressor during the day or some kind of occurrence that really worked you up and kind of made you feel uncomfortable, likely if you don't sit down and process that prior to sleep, that might come up, and your amygdala, since it continues to run as you sleep, can actually inhibit your sleep quality. So having a practice prior to sleep where you sit in silence and listen to the thoughts of your brain, potentially write them down, journal, or let them come and pass gently, I think this can be incredibly beneficial for you to improve your sleep quality because you can't just continue to let that amygdala run on a very high level and running on overdrive as you try to sleep. Having a consistent bedtime is a key element in your daily practice that will allow you to maximize how your mornings go and how much you can actually get done with the morning grind. And why is this the case? Kind of like I mentioned earlier, our brain runs on cycles and it runs habitually. If I have accommodated my brain to going to bed at the same exact time every night, I'm regulating my circadian rhythm. Melatonin will be secreted around the same time every single night, and this will ensure that I reach a deep state of restful sleep So when I wake up in the morning, I'm able to get things done and my mind is clear and I'm not stressed because I've actually gotten good quality sleep. It's just really interesting to see what happens when we actually regulate our activities and do things at certain times every single day. When we have our productivity hours set out and they're consistently at the same time, and when we have the hour of sleep chosen to be the same time every single night, our body functions as a well-oiled machine, secreting different hormones at the same time every single day. Norepinephrine, epinephrine, cortisol, dopamine, around those times where we're going to be productive. And then secreting hormones like melatonin and serotonin prior to sleep so we can feel a state of relaxation and maximize an overall state of, let's relax. Mornings represent a key point in our day where we can decide who we want to be. It's a clean slate. You can determine what direction do you want your internal monologue to go as soon as you wake up, assuming that you've done everything you need to have good quality sleep and that you've allowed yourself to essentially clear your amygdala before you've gone to sleep the last night by having a good pre-bed ritual practice. You can maximize your experience of the morning. You can build a positive mindset. And if you do this day in and day out, eventually this will be added to your personality. What we do repeatedly ultimately has a massive impact on who we become. Our brain builds associations out of different times of our day. Our brain builds associations with different cognitive states. Take advantage of the fact that your brain runs on cycles. We can't not be biological beings, so instead of working against your brain, work with it. Cheers, and thank you for joining me on the Hill Podcast. I will catch you next time, my friends.